Well, good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. on Saturday, February the 3rd, I believe. Oh no, the 4th of February. I missed a day there. And 2023 from Vernon, British Columbia, in Canada. That's about as close as I can get it. The It's sort of kind of half cloudy, half clear day. Fairly warm, not too bad. It's above freezing. Anyway, today is Saturday, the Sabbath day. Now, I belong to the Lutheran Church for a good 60 years, on and off. I went quite a bit when I was younger, and then later on I went a fair bit. Then towards the end, I hardly went at all. But my problem was I got bored with the Lutheran Church. It was the same old thing all the time. There was nothing. I couldn't tell you one thing that I learned in the Lutheran Church all those years. I was, sprinkled when I was a baby. I was confirmed in the Lutheran Church, and I was married in the Lutheran Church. Most of my relations are buried in a Lutheran church graveyard. Anyway, I quit. I just sort of quit about 10 years ago or so, something like that. And I just gave up on it. And what I did do is I started listening. I was in the oil business in Drayton Valley, Alberta, and Rocky Mountain House. And I'd be driving around in that truck every day, and sometimes in the evenings. And I'd have the radio on, and I'd be listening to stuff. And I started listening to this guy out of Pasadena, California. His name was Herbert W. Armstrong. I'd never heard of him before, but his radio programs were, really. Well, they caught your attention. He was a real, firebrand speaker, and he was on just about every night. And I started listening to him, paying attention to him. A lot of it about the Israelites and all this stuff that he come up with, and it started to make sense to me. But anyway, he to start with, I didn't really pay that much attention, but he was a strictly Bible believer, and of course the Ten Commandments and whatever. And that's what he preached, and that's what he ended up building a big, I don't know, kind of university or something in Pasadena, California. Thousands of kids going to school there and whatever. And he ended up with the churches all over the place and on TV all over the place. And then I don't know what happened. Something happened, just like it always does. Somebody gets, corrupt with money because they were getting so much money. And anyway, he died, and when he died, it kind of went to pot. And the ones who were in it went, one way and another way. Anyway, this one group ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina. And they call their program, based on his teachings and his church kind of, on the Ten Commandments and basically the Bible. They just say, don't believe us, just read it out of the Bible what we're telling you. And they have developed now into quite a group. I mean, I think they England, Ireland, Scotland, Europe, Australia, South Africa, Canada, United States. And they have preachers in all these countries, but they don't own churches. They don't have any churches. They just rent a church, or it's either on TV or rented space someplace on a Sabbath day. And they keep the Sabbath day. And I became convinced of that. I thought, all these years, you know, here's the Ten Commandments. We're supposed to be following the Ten Commandments. And Jesus said, if you want to live the new life or the life to come or whatever else, keep the commandments. Now, I live in Vernon, British Columbia. I never thought about that until I got here. Well, that's 40-some years ago now, but this is just in the last 10 years or so. And I read the Friday newspaper, comes out, and Vernon's, a town of a little over 50,000. And we've got lots of churches. And I come out on Friday, the full page of church page, every one. We've got a Sunday service 10 o'clock and another one, blah, 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 another, Sunday service, da, 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 da. Only usually one church is a Sabbath church. And they advertise on Friday that they go, have services on Saturday. And that's the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, I hadn't really thought about this before, but when I started looking into it and thinking about it, and I thought, how can you say you're a Christian if you don't follow the Ten Commandments? I mean, what kind of a deal is that? You're being false. So anyway, I started doing that. I don't know how long it's been now. It's been, I don't know, 5 years, 4 years, something like that. I've been trying to keep the Sabbath day. I don't always make it right. But I do. I keep it in mind. And basically it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. But here's the thing, what I'm getting at, is this Friday newspaper that comes out every week here is all Sunday services except one. We've got a 10 o'clock, got this, got that, that. And I say to myself, and you're preaching from the Bible, you're saying you're a Christian church. When Jesus said, follow the commandments. I can't make an excuse for the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, in my view, and that's just my view, I can't prove it or anything, is most likely the most anti-God church there is. They rewrote the Bible to suit them. They eliminated the Sabbath day and made another commandment of some kind. I mean, on their own they did this. I believe someplace in the Bible it says if you change the words of things, you'll be punished for it severely. And what it appears to me is that the Catholic Church switched to Saturday on their own, and all these other, I call them sister churches, follow. Like Lutheran Church, Presbyterian Church, all Baptist Church, Seventh-day Adventist Church, they all follow this. The only one that doesn't is the Seventh-day Adventist. Now, I've gone to the Seventh-day Adventist Church out of town here, to a country church they have, because it sort of reminds me of the church I grew up with at home. I don't belong to them or anything, and I don't think I ever would, really, because I don't want to belong to something that's a cult of some woman. But I like going there because it's basically just the same as a main church anyway. And I like the little country church atmosphere stuff. I mean, they're really friendly and happy to see you and all this stuff. But the thing is, there's a there must be a real problem when the Catholic Church changes the Bible to suit themselves. You know, they do a lot of things that I think are really anti-God, anti-Christ, terrible. And well, anyway, that's another subject. But as far as the Sabbath day goes, I think if you want to call yourself a Christian and believe in Jesus Christ and stuff like that, then you better keep the Sabbath. That's what he said to do. Not like the Catholics say to do. They influence the whole blinking works. So that's all I'm going to talk about today. I mean, just something I want to bring up because today's the Sabbath. I'm trying my best to keep the Sabbath, and I don't know if doing this is keeping the Sabbath, but I don't think it's bad or anything. Jesus said it's better to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath. And he said, I'm the Lord of the Sabbath. Sabbath was made for man. Man was not made for the Sabbath. So, it's a common sense thing. But God wants people to keep the commandments. And, let's face it, it's not a horrendously thing hard to do. You just don't go and start building something on Saturday or tearing the car down or doing this or doing that. And a lot of people, that's what they do on Saturday and Sunday. But on Saturday's the Sabbath. It's supposed to be memorial to God's creation. He rested on the seventh day after his creation. And he says to keep that as a memorial and to keep it holy. You don't have to do anything. Just say, that's my day off. I'm going to take it as God desires. So, it's not hard to do, and yet it is hard to do. Because it's hard to subvert your own things you want to do to what God says. And all he's saying is, take the day off and remember what I did when I created everything. That's all. Thank you, and goodbye, and thanks for stopping in. God bless you.